mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
And I'm Sky.
And it's since last year, we've sort of in June decided to bring at least one lesbian episode in June.
Yes.
We love lesbians here. Big
Let's go lesbians.
Let's go lesbians. Let's go. And recently, GMMTV finally made a little lesbian show that it started in March and ended at the end of May. So it ended like 2 weeks ago. Like, it's pretty
really
recently.
new.
And it was called 23.5. And while I'm pretty sure we were not exactly the target audience for this show.
Target age group.
No, like this definitely wasn't a show that was meant for us to be the ones watching it. We did. And we're going to chat about it today. Because I must say, like, this show sort of suffers from the same thing that happens to being the first of its kind from a place that everything does, where it's like, it's usually fine, but then everything that comes after is going to be better. You know what I mean? Like,
and there's just so few GLs in the world too, so it's not like you have like that kind of like room you have with other like genres or like different like things where you can be like, oh, well, this one's like kind of like okay, but like you know, you have others that are like far above, and you can just like ride those little like highs and lows. You kind of only have a little fraction with the GL, sadly, so it stands out more.
It's real slim pickings, you know. But even though the show wasn't really made for us, it still had its good points, and I think we can, you know, I think we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Was it a pretty exemplary, like a pretty good example of GMMTV, like what you expect of GMMTV?
Yeah, from like a GMMTV show that's clearly geared towards preteens and younger teens. Absolutely. And in that sense, it was perfectly appropriate for like a 14, 15-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a great show.
Like honestly, like even like a 12-year-old could, like, as long as they're not bored out of it, it stays in its age range and doesn't like
it doesn't
go
in
a like way that you have to
to
be worried about if you were like a parent, like worried about it.
It's a very innocent little show. Like, it's much less
even angst wise.
Yeah,
it's really low on the angst level. Like,
but before we get into it, we should probably tell you what the show's about.
Sure.
So it follows a awkward teen girl named Angsa who has recently moved. Her and her father lived separately from her mother, who lived with her sister and her cousin in the city. And her father and her finally came from the countryside to join them. And so she's going to a new school. She's, what's the word I'm looking for here? Junior, right? She's like, I don't know what they call it. We just call it grade 11 here in Canada. It's junior down in America. And so she goes to school and she's, you know, awkward and shy. But immediately makes two equally weird friends, but then sees a girl and is just absolutely struck by her beauty and her grace and her general, just everything, her aura, as it were. She also runs a cute little Instagram page, and her nickname is Earth. And if you're unfamiliar with Thai nicknames, Earth is generally used for men's nicknames. And so this girl at school, Sun, follows her Instagram, and they start chatting, and a little bit of flirting through the DMs, as it were. But there's just one problem. Sun thinks that Angsa's is a boy. And
because of Earth.
Because of her.
And there's no pictures. There's no pictures of Angsa.
Yeah, it's science, outer space, like you know,
puns,
pictures,
stuff like that.
Yeah,
like dad jokes, really.
Yeah,
pretty much. And then the show just sort of progresses from there. Real low stakes situations, just real regular teen drama without anything too crazy, except for one plot line involving the cousin, which I would like to get into. So there's this cousin character that lives with them. You never find out about her parents or why this cousin lives with them. And her name's Aylin, but she believes that she is an alien. Okay?
And she likes looking for aliens and stuff.
She likes looking for aliens because she wants to be taken to her home planet.
She calls, like, everyone human, like human aunt, human,
like human,
human student.
She is
I love her to bits. Like, I love her character.
Listen, she's hilarious.
She's my favorite.
Yeah.
But, like, immediately after the first episode, the first thing I thought to myself was, why is her aunt not getting her psychiatric help? Like, she's clearly having an episode of some sort, because it is not normal for, like, a 16, 17-year-old to truly believe they are an alien.
And close herself off as much as she does.
And close herself off from humans, from everyone else. And while they do get a cute little love story with another girl at the school and stuff, I was like, this wouldn't actually, like, solve the clear mental problems that this poor girl is having.
She probably had, like, actual issues that needed a lot of, like, help.
Absolutely.
That simply telling her new friends, like, she eventually figures out how to make friends, and she eventually tells her new friends, the thing they kind of all assumed is, like, she was bullied, and that's what, like, caused, and at that point, which you kind of assumed all that just based on clues, but it's like, the whole time it's like, she needed more help than just the love of some friends.
Absolutely.
I mean, the friendship thing was cute. It was very cute.
It was very nice. But a psychiatrist should probably have also been involved.
Yeah, I also think that, like, maybe part of the problem with her character is that it wasn't written well, in the sense that she is very clearly written to be autistic. And I think they didn't portray that well in the writing, which also kind of, like, lends to being like, oh, she seems, like, odd in a way that, like, you were trying to figure out, like, outside of things. And so I think that was part of the problem too, that it was just not meshing well, and that they weren't very good at writing that sort of character.
Right. I agree with that. Yeah, I definitely read that role as there's some autism happening, some neurodivergence for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I was just like, shouldn't she be getting, like, help? But these parents had a real laissez-faire parenting style, I'm gonna be honest. They just sort of were, like, leaving all the time, like, showing up randomly and being like, oh, not noticing that the oldest sister was having, like, severe burnout issues.
Right.
Like, they were just like, they were on their own thing. Like, you know what?
They're like, yeah, you guys are old enough. We're gonna just, live our lives.
It's like, you're teens. You can be left home alone.
But also, so like, Aylin's plot line as far as figuring out how to, like, have friends and stuff was very much inspired by her crush, Luna, helping her. And of course, when you're an older person and you're watching this, it's like, like, that's not great. But when, like, if you were a preteen watching that, you don't clock it. You're just like, that's cute, and you're just like, cool. You don't really care. But, like, when you are older, it's like, no, that's not great to be that reliant on the crush that you have, but that's fine.
No, not fantastic. I will say, though, this show did have a lot of just, like, very cute little relationships happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there was, like, so there's the main couple who have a very slow burn, like, relationship. Then you have, Luna and Aylin, who is mostly, Aylin gets annoyed into being in love with her. Then you have like the two teachers who are both trans women, who have like a little thing going on.
They argue all that. They like have spats, and one of them is very dense, and I love it. Yeah. Like they're so good.
Like we got the doesn't pick up clues versus the desperately giving clues characters. Chef's kiss. Then you have this adorable little just like gay subplot that's not really like what I was sort of laughing about is, so you have these three male characters in this show. It's not all lesbians. They had to give a little something for everyone else, right? So you have like the Lothario of the school, where he's not like really, but all the ladies love him, right? Even though he just seems fine, like he's not a bad guy, I guess.
Yeah, he's not mean or anything either. So
he's not mean. Like, he's just like he's like
he kind of acted like an idol because like he had fans.
He
he had fans.
There was some fan service going on. It was a thing.
And then he falls for like the basically what I would call Thailand's version of like a horse girl, who doesn't want to date him at all. She's like, no, like I'm happy just, having you belong to everyone. And he's like, but I don't think that's actually, like, good for me, really. Like, I'm not gonna, like, push you, but I am gonna be annoying. Then you have, Angsa's other best friend, who's this adorable little openly gay kid who loves making videos and who's always filming everything, Tin, and he's just, like, chill. And then you have this... like the vice president of the school, who's like this cute little chunky guy, who's also gay, but you only find that out like well into the show, who's just, but what always made me laugh was that the popular flirt guy and the little vice president were always on these little like side quests throughout the show that would like bring them into contact with the main plot by accident.
They were always like there.
They were always there. Like just like they wouldn't actually be doing anything that like they'd be on
of consequence
own.
At all.
But they'd
like,
also be like, I don't know how this happened. We were just like doing something on our own and they just came.
It's like we were just like going for a walk to like the park and we ran into the main plot, like, and so I was just like laughing. I was like, I love this little like side quest system that they've got going on where it's like just like to give you a little break from like the minute amount of angst that are happening. Here's a little side quest with like these two dumbass dudes just trying to flirt with the people they like, and you're like, yeah, why not, man? Like,
it was always really cute.
Yeah, like it was. And I think that's sort of like the overarching like vibe of the show is that it's very cute.
Absolutely, yeah.
Like ache your teeth type.
Yeah, like it's cute. Very sweet, it's innocent, it's cute. And I think that like from the perspective of looking at it as an adult, I could see how like a 14-year-old who might be like, who knows that they're a lesbian, but are don't see themselves represented, might see this as like a really good like outlet for that sort of you know what I mean. Yeah.
And there was a little clip on the YouTube channel too. It was of the actors like talking about just little tidbits, and one of the people that play the teacher, they were just saying they liked how all these different types of relationships were shown. So like the friendships and like it was all kind of different, like as far as how the relationships functioned and stuff in a very simple like cutesy way. But as far as just the representation of even just kids that age, hey, all these different types of relationships are a thing. Like even if I'm super straight over here, like whatever, it's still it's nice. It can be cute. It doesn't have to be queer things don't always have to be a super heavy, difficult topic.
Yeah.
It can be, you can have sweet moments. Like, it's not always sad.
It doesn't have to be doom and gloom.
Right.
We can just have some
also
cute
great
vibes.
about it was that, like, you also had, like, just, like, other things. Like, so, like, the relationships between, like, the sisters and the cousins and stuff like that. And so it was, like, you were always diverted into, like, I'm using air quotes, normal situations, which is something that, like, I always really like it. And when you have, like, these underrepresented groups of people being put into the main, like, plot of a show or a movie or anything like that, there is always this want for it to be spectacular and grand, when why not show it just as, like, you would any other, like, person who is, like, the complete opposite that already gets representation. Like, you would see this in a straight couple. Like, this show would be easily that. So, like, why can't it not be? The
plot barely has to be changed to like make it, like, for if it was like a straight show.
Yeah,
the plot wouldn't have to be changed whatsoever
at all. Right? Because it's very much this episode. Oh, we need to join clubs. Guess I need to figure that out. Oh, exams are coming up. Oh, we need to talk about colleges. That is what we think about at that age. Like that.
Yeah,
those are the main things we do. It's not just always going to be
like the relationship you have or like the crush that you have. It's gonna, like, all these other factors are like the things that are like your major, like, events that are happening. Like, these, like, very mundane things in the long run, but, like, exams are really hard and they really put a stress on you. They're gonna be harder than anything else, and, like, why make another plot, like, really big when you don't need to?
Yeah. And then, like, for example, one plot was, like, her trying to figure out what to get the girl for her birthday.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like, and then after being told, like, oh, I don't need anything, just for you to be there. Don't just tell people what you want for your birthday. Like,
just to be there.
Just, like, oh, no. They don't want to just show up empty-handed. Just
say something.
Anyway, it's fine. Just anything. Just be like, oh, I'd love a new hair clip. Doesn't matter. Say anything. And it's just like, it is what it is, like, it's a chill vibe show, full of chill people, including some of the chillest parents I have ever seen. Like, I know that it's, like, a bit of a meme in, like, like, the BLGL world about having these, like, really cool parents who are just like, yeah, man, love is love. But, like, the character of Sun's parents in this,
love is love. Like, that just
so cool. Like, Angsa's like, wait, you're not, like, you're not upset that, like, your daughter's dating a girl? And they're like, why would we be upset about our daughter dating a girl as long as who the dating is nice to her? Like, we don't care. And then she's just like, oh, like, y'all are real cool about queer stuff, huh? And they're like, yeah, man, like, as long as you're nice, like, we don't care. And I'm just like, okay. Like, it's great, like, and that's also nice, because perhaps there's a parent watching this and thinking maybe my kid is, like, what should I do if my kid came out to me? Now, I don't think you need to go as, like,
chill as
quite as chill.
You should just, like, actually be a parent and be present.
Like, just, you don't have to be quite as, like, yeah, man, like, we're all a little gay. Like, we don't have to go that far. But, like, you could still just be like, that's great. I'm proud that you love, like, that you trusted me enough to tell me. That's all you need to say. Anyone who's out there listening to this, who's gotten this far and is like, how should I react to my queer child? Just, you don't have to make it as
But what's really nice of it? Because there wasn't, like, such, like, big things like that. Like, it was, like, it's a show that you were like, yes, I could, like, let a very young, like, kid watch this and, like, not worry that it's gonna upset them in any way. Not, like,
scare them about things, that type of topic.
Or make it be, like, something that was, like, anxiety ridden. It's just, like, we're not gonna have that. Like, we're gonna have like 2 seconds of anxiety for like every big major thing that happens, and then it gets resolved immediately. And so it was nice that they were like, even in the like parents world, it was like we're still keeping up that like level of just nothing bad is really gonna happen here. Like, we're very
like
chill.
You don't get like, you never get a sense that anyone's ever going to face any sort of rejection for their like identity in this show.
Yeah, there's no bullying. Like, I mean, there is bullying, but like, you know, like not like you see it.
You never see the.
Yeah, you just hear it referenced.
Or I guess we did see some little bullying with Aelin.
But it's not like a K-drama level drama bullying.
You know,
like it was just like, they called her a mean name, and then it's indicated that perhaps they did that a lot, and maybe more, but, like, they don't show any of it. But, like, it was just, like, the chill vibe.
Yeah.
That, like, which made one plot point of the show
the one where it kind of went a little
baffling to me. Now, I know Sky has thoughts on this as well, but I gotta say, we don't always have to seek a noble idiocy or like a breakup drama as part of a relationship arc. I know that it's like an easy way to like ferment drama, but the show didn't have any drama.
It really didn't.
So, anyway, in the almost like literally the second to last episode, they're like, we gotta add a little spice into this show. And the way we're gonna do that is we're going to make the most ridiculous breakup between these two characters that could possibly exist in this world that we've spent so long creating. So basically what happens is, they've come out to Sun's parents, who were very cool. And it's very clear that Sun has a very close, like, loving relationship
Sun's
with her
parents. Are
whereas,
kind of, like, always there, whereas the other parents are just...
Like, Angsa's parents, they're, like, in and out. They're not, like, mean or anything.
No, they're just, like, maybe on vacation a lot, or, like...
Yeah, they're away for work a lot. We don't know what they're doing. They're just away.
Out of the house.
And they leave the oldest daughter in charge, even though, like, does not want to be in charge.
Poor thing.
The poor thing.
She's having her own problems.
So, like, Angsa invites Sun over for dinner, because, like, Sun basically, like, they just live at each other's houses at this point, which, like, advantage to, like, you know.
That's very
like,
true.
no one's questioning sleepovers when you're both ladies.
I actually thought about that a lot. Like, wow, there's a lot of sleepovers happening for these couples.
There's nothing
No.
There's a few chaste smooches, but, like,
as far as the parents just be like, that's totally cool. It's like, okay.
Well, like, I guess they don't have to worry about teen pregnancy or anything with two lesbians, so, like, whatever, go to town.
Not in this world, though.
Not in this world. Like, teen pregnancy is not a worry in this world at all, okay? Like, this is not the vibe. But then, like, she has, like, Sun over for dinner, and then, like, Sun gets upset that Angsa isn't saying that they're dating.
And the parents just got back from being away.
Yeah.
Just got back.
And so, like, they have this huge breakup because Sun's like, why won't you tell your parents, one, that you're a lesbian?
Yeah,
and two, that...
For the record, Sun did outs her immediately. Like, I was like, whoa,
like,
that happened fast.
Which was really weird to me.
It didn't match her character at all.
Because it didn't match the character at all. Like, she was a very, like, compassionate, level-headed person the whole show. And then suddenly she's like, I cannot conceive of my lesbian girlfriend perhaps being worried at coming out to her parents.
At dinner.
And it's just, at dinner, just randomly, after not seeing them for, like, a month. And I'm just sitting here like, even in this universe... Like, she must know homophobia exists. Right? And it's like, I know that you're in this lovely little queer cabal that, like, you found yourself in, and, like, that's great. But, like, that's not and it's like, and I know that the only two teachers you ever meet are both trans women who are in love with each other, but it's just like, that's not actually like
the real world,
the norm. And while you have really cool parents, you must know that not everyone does.
Right, like, you gotta know that not your parents
like,
are not
also, like,
usual either.
Not even just that, but like being like, what if she's not allowed to date, period? Like at that young age, which is very like
they were young. Yeah, they're like 16.
They're super young, and like a lot of parents do that, where they're like, no, you're not going to be dating while you're in school. So like even at that level,
it's like on one hand, it's like they already knew about Aelin and Luna, and they seem cool with that. But that doesn't actually mean that they'd be cool about their own daughter, because sometimes people are weird.
Yeah, it's like, every other family member can be it, but not my direct.
Not my kid. So it's like, so and it's just like, I know this isn't really the show that would have actually been like a plot point, but like, I was watching it and I was like, girl, did you just out your girlfriend to her parents before she was ready? Like, that's really...
Well, also, prior to that, like, outing Aelin to, like, there was a lot of outing going on
and
without
it's so,
consent.
Like, fast and, like, not addressed at all.
No,
I was like, did that just happen?
Like, you move on.
No,
nobody
like, they should have outed Aelin to a psychiatric center, like, but not for being a lesbian. Like, I was so mystified, and like they make up really quick, because here's the thing about this show is that they can't let stuff ferment for too long on the show,
which is like hilarious.
They fix it real
because
quick.
If we talk about like the big main plot of the show for like the first half of the series is her DMing them to DMing, and only one of them knowing that like who they're actually talking to, and the other one not. Yeah. And Sun is so into this guy that she's DMing, and like the other girl is just like, how am I gonna tell her that it's me? And then it's found out, and like within like 30 seconds, it's cool, let's date.
she's like, you know what? That's fine. Like
I'm glad it's this nice girl that I've gotten close with. It's great.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's all good. Like, disappointment, and you know what? It's all good.
But it's also so funny
like,
because like, at this point she had been like promising to come to her birthday and stuff as the guy, and kept on like not coming.
It's really one of those plots where it's like she never actually like said she was a guy. Like, she never actually lied, but she let it go on, like, too long, where it becomes too awkward to say anything. She really, like, painted herself into a corner, but, like, she wasn't lying.
And then it, like...
Until she was like, yeah, but technically, she also wasn't lying when she said she'd go to her birthday party.
That's true, she did.
She did show up. But it's just like, what is this?
Well, like, that's also when it's like, oh, I'm not a preteen anymore. This would have made more sense then.
So. It would have been really racking my brain. Like, a tense 2 minutes. Is she gonna say, like, she hates her and she wants to leave her because we're only halfway through? And she's like, no, like, we should make it. Okay. Yeah. I love this bracelet. Okay.
I will say it was a very cute bracelet that she made her. Like,
very, very cute.
Expert,
the bracelet sold it.
But this is the level we
quality
have.
Craftsmanship.
So, like, when she outs these people, it's like nothing. Like, no consequences, but also nobody cares.
It made no sense.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But
so then they were broken up, and it was like really kind of devastating for like half an episode.
Yeah, then, you know.
And then it's romance, so.
But it was pretty frustrating though. Sun just continually being like, "It's because you don't understand me." I'm like, then explain.
Yeah, like
oh my
tell
gosh.
her that like Angsa this entire time has been shown to be a confused, dense character.
Right. She's not. She doesn't have a lot clicking up there. You gotta tell her what's going on.
She's not a genius. You gotta just tell it to her straight. Like, her character has been shown to constantly jump to the wrong, like, conclusion at every stage. So
also,
you're just like, tell her the right conclusion.
Right before this fiasco, like, I mean, it was probably a few minutes right before that. And I think it might have been Ongsa. Like, Sun had said something, and Ongsa was like, "You're so much more mature than me." And then, yep, we're gonna just prove that right away.
It's like, sorry, incorrect. Oh, you think I'm mature? Let me show you how immature I can be.
Well, but it was almost like she was in... so Sun was in some, like, deep headspace thing, and Ongsa's just like, "You're saying you love me? Why aren't we together? I'm not kidding." I'm just going...
And, like...
You guys need to talk.
Kind of where they were going, because, like, it's very clear that it was, like, based on the fact that she was, like, very concerned about hurting Anga about, like, the going to be an exchange student and not being around for a year. And then to, like, find out that, like, she's not even telling her parents that they're dating. So I get the intention, but it was just a little too much for what we had, and for, like, probably everybody who's supposed to be watching this show. It's just, like, I don't think they're gonna get as emotional as you're wanting them to get. They're probably just like, oh, boring, let's move on.
Well, they really just pulled it'd be what it'd be, like...
Children, you know?
And then as wacky lesbians, like...
It's like, how did it get fixed? The sister and cousin sit Ongsa down in front of the parents, and the parents are like, "We're totally fine with stuff." And then they have a small conversation, and then Ongsa's like, "I see the light. I've been making decisions for everybody else. I understand now."
Like she hasn't. I know. Like, so it's just like
she's been trying to be her version of compassionate and empathetic, which is like, since she's awkward and not a lot's clicking, she's just usually a little misdirected. That's just,
you know, this really has, like, the same, like, effect as if, like, you went and, like, reread some, like, Babysitter's Club book now.
Yeah!
Speaking about, like, teens. Yeah. Where you're like, wow, this is what I was reading. Okay.
You're like, okay.
I get it.
You know what? It's all good, man.
Yeah. It also reminds you of how heightened emotions were at that age.
And weird things.
Just about anything.
Like, things that, like, you should be more heightened on, you weren't. And then you have to, like, one random
like,
thing.
important things.
Yeah. You're just all over the place, really.
As far as, if we were writing it, what would the crux have been? It would have been probably the fact that she wants to go be an exchange student in the U.S. Like, that's kind of a big deal.
It is a big deal, especially with, like, that young of a relationship, and it being the first relationship for both of them, I guess. Technically. Well, I guess we don't know really, Sun, but, like, it is a big deal.
Definitely, like...
No,
technically no, because Jongsa did have that. She did date before the show started. Okay. She dated the dude. Like, and he, you know, the flirty guy was like, "Ongsa, like, you're the only person I ever dated for more than 3 days." And she's like, "I did what with you?" Like, it barely left a memory, my guy. Like, he's like, you don't remember our love? And she's like, "Not ringing a bell." Like, you're not really my vibe, but I think you're an okay guy.
But as far as, like, there was this little tiny, like, moment of, because she's always wanted to be an exchange student over in the U.S. And it used to just be over the summer. And so that was always the thing that she had assumed she wanted, because it was just going to be a summer thing.
Yeah.
And so now she's in this relationship, and then she gets told, "Oh no, it's going to be 2 semesters. You're going to be gone like a year." And then it's like, oh no. And so at least they did focus on that a little. Yeah. But as far as, like, that could have easily just been the main crux of, like... It really could have,
because, like, a year is a lot for a high schooler. That's, like, 20 years, you know? It's like high school years are, like, 1 equals 20 years or something, you know? It's just, like, you could have had that, like, going and, like, trying to figure out how they're gonna, like, be together but apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't need
Instead, all they did was give Ongsa a ponytail with some wave in it.
Which, like...
Cute.
cute. And then, like, they just, they showed Sun on a video with a little scarf to indicate that he's somewhere colder than Thailand. I'm like, perfect.
And then pop back up and just go right back to how we've been. It's like, okay, that's fine.
No problems.
Like, it's fine.
No issues. We all good.
It wasn't like I thought the acting was really good though. Like I did feel like these were kids.
Yeah,
I will say that
the whole time, the entire time we were in the age group that I thought we were in. Yeah,
which is really funny because do you know how old the actress playing Ongsa is?
Yeah, like mid-20s.
I'm gonna go see.
28?
27.
Yeah,
Milk is 27 years old.
Yeah. And so it's just like,
and Love is 24.
Yeah. So it's like, they were really, unlike in America when you watch one of these teen shows and they all look like they're pushing, they all 30. Look like they're pushing 30.
Those teen shows also have teen pregnancy, so we're not in that world.
Those teen shows also have like sex scenes and stuff, which is why they have to hire older actors. But like this one, it's like they're all in their 20s, sure, but it's like they were very believable as teenagers.
Especially Milk. Milk did a really good job being Ongsa, being super awkward.
Yes.
And like not confident about herself on any level and kind of being a loser.
Yeah.
She hit the loser notes real good.
Her loser notes were impeccable.
Yeah.
Okay.
And continued to be. Like, I felt like her character was very consistent the whole time. And that's why the whole breakup thing, it's like, Sun knows Ongsa. What are you asking? Like, it just... What is going on?
Like, what are we doing here? The youngest actor is the one who played Tin. And he's 21. So like but they all seemed like teens, but not like fake teens. Like they seemed like actual teens. Just, And so in that sense it was really successful in delivering that sort of story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it a story that I would have picked up if it wasn't lesbians? No, absolutely. I'd be like, whatever.
But if it would have been a BL, you would have picked it up.
Yeah, but I still would have had the same thoughts, like, because I've seen some pretty boring ass BLs where I'm like, okay, like, I get it.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, like, where's the noble idiocy coming in? And usually, I rated it exactly what I rate those, where it's like, it's fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I clearly wasn't the target market for it, but it's not like it failed as a show.
Yeah. But like contextually, so like let's say you did have a 12-year-old kid that you wanted to watch a show with. Solid recommendation for like sitting down with a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old. Totally work.
And I think if I were like a parent, I'd be really happy to see this kind of show coming out and be like, okay, like I'm really glad that I could like maybe be like, hey, kid, watch this. I'm not going to be a parent, so I'm not good at parenting, but like it just felt very safe for younger kids. And then also it being a GL was just, it's huge. So like even though there are these like points where we're like, they shouldn't have done that, like on a whole I think it is really good for that age group to have this kind of representation in a full drama too. It's a full 12 episode, almost hour long episode drama. So like it's really nice to have that as an accessible thing.
And like girls smooching. Both couples, like, and so it's like, thank you. As far as, do we get to see this really ever often?
Ever? No.
Not enough. No, we don't see this enough. So,
and you know what? And I'll say the same thing that my mom said when she was watching Takara-kun to Amagi-kun over my shoulder, which is another show that's like a bit, I would say, like, if this show was for like 12 to 14-year-olds, that one would be like 15 to 18-year-olds. So it's like slightly moved up. And she said, you know what? I think it's really important that these shows exist so that kids in this situation know that other people exist like them. And that it might be a starting off point for these conversations that these kids might be too scared to have.
Absolutely.
Or it might even be, like, even, like we were saying, a lot of kids don't even date when they're 16. You know, like, they gotta do school stuff. So they can see this, though, when they're younger. And they can be like, these relationships do exist. These thoughts I'm like, as far as how I feel about people that I'm meeting and stuff. And so then as they start entering college and as they go about their life, they can know that, like, even if they end up in a very traditional whatever setup, they still are at least aware of society around them, or like their friends, or even just themselves, maybe a deeper version of themselves that they would have never even known about until way later, being older. So like, I think it's super cute. I did really enjoy it. Like, I thought it was good for what it was. It is young. It is very young.
It's like, for what it was, I thought it was great. For, like, my own personal, like, I clearly was not the target market. And so it's like, I watched it as someone, like, I'm not really watching this because I'm getting a bunch of, you know, the vibes that, like, the show is aiming to give, because I'm not the one it's aiming to give them to. And that's okay, because you can watch things and realize they're not for you, and then move on with your life after saying, for the person that this is actually made for, this is an excellent version of that. But I'm not that person, so it was just fine for me. You know?
I also thought it was really cute. So, we've talked about the name thing before, but Ongsa meaning, like, angle or tilt or whatever. And then the earth and sun and angle, very cute that they reference that through the whole show. They talk about it. They do little in jokes the entire time. Very adorable that they did that.
Because if anyone is unaware, 23.5 is the degree that the axis of the earth is pointed towards the sun. So the whole thing is a pun.
And they discuss
everything about the show. But, like, that's also really common.
Right. Like, and we've definitely talked about this all the time.
Yeah. But it's cute.
It is not the worst writing either. We're not saying that, you know, there are weak points and stuff, but as far as, like, again, for what it is, it wasn't like, oh, this is bad.
I think that's like the problem with this. Like, if you go into, like, looking at it through, like, maybe, like, going on to MDL and, like, seeing comments and stuff, people aren't realizing that it's for a certain audience and a certain age of audience too. And so they're, like, not, like, rating it, like, personally, but, like, giving it harsher criticism than it deserves, because they're criticizing it as, like, an older person, like, thinking that this is supposed to be written for them when it's not. And so, like, even some of these, like, things that are little like, gray written areas, it's kind of not gray if you think of it as like the reading age of, like, a 12-year-old. You're like, no, this is actually how it should be written. Like, even though it doesn't seem right for us with decades of years of, like, knowledge and just being an older person watching
and
it.
We're going therapy. Therapy.
But,
like, it's not supposed to be, like, that's not really supposed to be clocked, like, for a kid watching that too. So it's really unfair to be sitting there kind of, like, judging it more harshly because of these types of things, when it's really just not, like, you're not the audience, like, period. It's, like, not even like you picked up a show and then, like, halfway through you're like, I usually like this drama or this genre, but it's not great or whatever. It's kind of hard to see that. Like, you're like, oh, but, like,
it would be like picking up, like, a novel written for middle schoolers and being upset that it's not full of complex themes. Like, it wouldn't be. It's a novel written for middle schoolers.
And it's also supposed to just be fluffy and sweet and kind about, like, two girls falling in love in high school. Like, it's supposed to be this level of, like, candy and, like, your brain kind of shutting off and not really thinking about things.
Yeah.
People get really like I think a lot of people, when they look at shows, they really forget to think about who the show is made for. And so it's like,
and sometimes stuff is context too, as far as, like we discussed earlier. So the pool of GL shows, it's tiny.
Tiny.
Much less when you're talking about for the younger age group. And so if you it's like when people go back and watch things like Sodus or whatever. Are these things magnificently scripted? No, but when you're kind of the first popular thing of that realm and an age group and a BL thing and whatever, like, you have to give it props for what it is. Like, it's the thing that gets people, and especially for, like, younger audience and stuff. So, just saying, like, you got to give it props. And again, I thought it was really good for what it was. Like, I thought it was really cute. It was really easy.
Like, for a show made for, like, young teens, I thought it was excellent.
I do.
Yeah.
And the thing that, like, people also have to remember, especially if you're used to watching K-dramas and you watch a lot of even high school K-dramas, it's not the same. Like, high school K-dramas are not necessarily for high schoolers all the time. Like, often high school K-dramas can be still for, like, mature audiences and stuff. And so we get used to that sometimes. And so, this is a high school drama for high school and younger, like, being able to watch it. And that's good, because if we think back to our, like, when you are 12, 13, you are wanting to watch high school age stuff. That is what you're wanting to watch. So
It's like, I always kind of laugh, because it's like Buffy the Vampire Slayer is set in high school. That's not made, like, how old is she? Like, in the beginning of that, is she like 15 or something?
Yeah.
That wasn't a show made for 15-year-olds. Like,
or 13. Like, let's be honest, like, how old a lot of people were at the time of watching it.
It's like, you know, like, another one, like Shadowhunters, which is, I love it, but it's bad. Like, they were like the characters were like 16 years old in that. Like, I'm like, this is not made for 16-year-olds. So, like, you know, there needs to be shows that are made for that age group. And I feel like that age group is where it gets forgotten a lot.
Yeah.
Like, between, like, you know, like,
especially in, like,
15.
TV and movies.
Yeah, TV
like,
and
I feel
movies.
like books, kind of, like, you can... it still is a
middle grade.
Yeah, there's a good representation, or at least there was. I don't know if there still is, but, like...
luckily, those books still exist.
Yeah,
so, like, it's not like they deleted the books.
Still, like, I mean, like, if you want, like, you know, more, like... things that would, like, be legitimately something you could only find this year as opposed to, like, 10 years ago. But, like, it's very hard to find things for that age group in terms of, like, TV and movies. So it's, like... we should be allowing these types of things to happen and not be bogged down by criticism because you weren't the audience and you're mad about that.
Yeah.
Also, it's an exemplary, like, it is a good drama for that age group. Like, it is good.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's okay, we'll just accept it because it's in this small pool. No, like, it was good for that age group. Solid.
Like, I would be totally fine, like, with, you know, like, kids in my family watching this. Like, I had absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. Like,
yeah.
Or if you want squeaky clean, quote, quote, whatever, here you be.
That's true. Yeah. I kind of wish Amanda was on this, the only person who has kids in this.
Yeah, kids in various age groups.
But she's not here because of her kids.
That's true.
It's her son's birthday.
I personally think...
happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday. Based on what we know of Amanda, I think that she would also agree with our assessment, and also, like, based on her own parenting, like, things, I think she would, like, think this is really legitimate for that group.
I got no problems with it. I got no problems with it. I think it's a good show. I think that,
but it's probably not.
Like,
you probably won't find it, like, at the top of our end of year list, just because it's not built for us, and that's okay.
But we did give it views.
That's right.
And it was
it's
cute.
On YouTube,
it was adorable.
Yeah.
And I applaud a 20, like, Milk did great being an awkward teen girl.
Being a loser. Like,
Yes.
And I applaud a girl loser character. How often do we get to really get girl loser characters who are just super awkward, putting their foot in their mouth all the time?
I also
like, thank you.
like that we have this, like, GMMTV Alien series going on, and then there's just like, yeah, now we get, like, because there's just so many alien shows, and so now, like, we have the, like, the For the Youth alien show.
For the Youth, here's your alien show.
And the director of it directed, like, a bunch of the U-Print stuff back in the day, and then, like, you know, a bunch of other stuff for GMMTV. All their stuff is for GMMTV. But they're also going to be directing the Scarlet Heart remake. So, like, I'm interested in how that's gonna go. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Also, they seem like she seems like a really cool pretty mask presenting person. They seem pretty fascinating.
Yeah. Anyway, that's 23.5, my friends.
If you're curious, check it out. It's on YouTube, man.
Yeah, it's free.
It's easy.
Give it views.
Yeah.
It's adorable. It really is. Like, as far if you need a little pick me up, it, you know, especially in those tiny bits, as far as if you're doing the 4-part, you know, little tiny sugar cubes, I guess, essentially.
Because, like most GMMTV shows on YouTube, it is split into 4 chunks. Which, like, you know what, GMMTV, get your bag. Get your money. You know what I mean? Like, quadruple those views. Yeah. You know? Like, we see you
figured it out.
All right.
Cool.
But we know what you're about.
It would be so fun if, like, if later on we get another series with the same characters, like older, like college age, and then on, like, that'd be really fun. Probably won't happen, but that would be fun.
You know what? At the same time, it's like the only thing I've noticed. The only thing they can ever think of to do is, like, break them up for dumb reasons. Yeah. So, like, maybe just let them
be happy.
Just let them stay happy in our memories. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
You're the one that has seen the sequels. You would know.
It's like,
you don't wish.
You know what? I don't want to get into it. I've been disappointed so many times. I've been like, is this all you can think of? Is this all you could think of? Anyway, you know what? I'm not gonna get into it. It's fine. And while you're checking that out, maybe you should, like, check out some of our other episodes if you haven't already. We have years of podcasts, all on anywhere podcasts can be found, but also on YouTube, and also on our website, certifiednoonas.com, where we also have links and time codes to everything that we talk about. So that's that. And if you want to support this podcast, like so many of the wonderful people who do, you can go to patreon.com/certifiednoonas to join the Found Family. They're a Found Family on the web, and we love them so much. They're the best. And they keep the lights on, and they're just fantastic. And, you know, thumbs up. Anyway, we hope you had a fantastic time listening and hanging out with us, and we hope you come back next week for another episode. It's gonna be a good one. I'm very personally excited, even though I have done the least amount of work for it. But but it'll make sense. It'll make sense. I'm not just shifting off responsibility to other people. It's for a reason. And I suppose I did the same amount of work. I mean, you know what? It doesn't matter. Moving on. And anyway, as always, wear a mask, wash your hands, and, you know, maybe check out this cute little GL on YouTube. Anyway, see you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.